Welcome back to the Team to Be Miami Heat podcast, our one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. We have a big rumor alert, and I want to cover this real quick. The Miami Heat have been looking to trade for Ja Morant potentially, so we're going to break down what's going on and whether this would be a smart move for the Miami Heat. And I also want to talk about how Morant could possibly fit in with the Miami Heat. So make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about the Miami Heat and NBA news. So, according to a recent article, NBA insider Jake Fisher reported that the Miami Heat have had internal discussions about the possibility of trading for Ja Morant. So, that is something that just came out yesterday and is an interesting topic to go over because John Morant seems to be disgruntled. He's been suspended this year and he's having a down season this year. And it's unclear whether or not the Grizzlies are going to trade him, but it feels like he is going to get traded eventually. And not sure if the Miami Heat are actually serious about doing this. So we'll see what happens in the coming days, coming weeks, but still have plenty of time until the NBA trade deadline. We have a couple months until the February deadline, but I'm not sure what's going on. I think the Miami Heat might be just brainstorming what if scenarios behind closed doors, and especially after the week the Heat have had, they've lost 4 out of 5 games, I believe, and so they're struggling a little bit. So it doesn't mean they need to make any drastic changes, but the idea here is though the Miami Heat are always looking to push and land disgruntled stars or all stars or whales, whatever it may be. And the franchise feels that it needs a true star in order to make the next step and to make a leap. And you know that's the case. When it comes to winning a championship, you need the Steph Currys, you need the LeBron Jameses, the Kevin Durant's, you need the SGAs, you need the Jokers, you need guys like the Luka Doncic, the top tier guys. John Morant is far from that, in my opinion. Was he in that class or that tier in the past? Possibly, like not exactly within that tier, but was he a top 10 guy a few seasons ago? Yes, like he was amazing. It looked like he was ascending. It looked like he was going to be a perennial all-star and superstar. And things haven't gone his way. Like with there's injuries, obviously, there's his off-court issues. And right now he doesn't love the coaching staff, I guess. Last year he didn't like the offensive scheme and system, which would be ironic because the Miami Heat hired the dude as a consultant who is the one who put in the strategy for the Memphis Grizzlies for their pace last season. So I don't know why Ja would like that playing with the Miami Heat, even though the Miami Heat are a way better organization than the Memphis Grizzlies. But either way, the Miami Heat, they are always looking for their next star to play next to either a Tyler Hero or next to a Bam Adebayo. And could Ja Morant be that? So let's talk about his fit with the Miami Heat. So one, he is an elite playmaking and a guard who can also create for others. So elite playmaking and creation. He's been praised for his vision. He can thread tough passes. He can create his own shot. He can obviously drive and kick. Obviously, very athletic. Isn't dunking or isn't a high flyer like he used to be, perhaps, but he's someone who could generate offense not only for himself, but for his teammates. And that kind of playmaking would add a dynamic dimension to the Miami Heat's offense. So we've seen what Davion Mitchell's been able to do as one of the best assist to turnover ratio guys in the NBA. And Davion's a role player. And you could see how missed he was the last game against the Sacramento Kings. So not having that floor general, that point guard that can play make and create for his teammates, we were missing that without Davion. So imagine a John Morant versus a Davion Mitchell in that position. You know, that's going to be explosive and a dynamic add to this Miami Heat roster. So again, Ja, super athletic when healthy. That's the key. When he's healthy and motivated, it doesn't seem like he's motivated. It seems like he's disgruntled. It seems like he's lost his joy, kind of like how Jimmy Butler lost his joy with the Heat last season. But John Morant, when healthy, is still one of the most explosive types of guards in the NBA. He's only 26 years old, and his ability to blow by defenders, finish at the rim, get to the free throw line, produce highlight level plays could help the Miami Heat generate more offense, especially with him getting to the paint, driving, and kicking. So is he disgruntled? It feels like he is, honestly. It feels like he's not trying, which I don't like that motivation. Like, if you don't like your scenario, like, I don't like guys who quit on their team essentially, but a change of scenery could re-energize him and going to a better organization, a better franchise. Some analysts think a fresh environment and new structure and a culture like the Miami Heat could help Morant rediscover his joy and improve his performance because he's been playing like shit, quite frankly. So the Miami Heat apparently need a star, want stars. So Miami arguably lacks a true superstar. And again, I wouldn't call Ja a superstar at the moment, but he has the potential to be one, especially if he played like he did a couple seasons ago, elevating his team, taking them to the playoffs. Like he went toe to toe with Steph Curry once in the playoffs. And so he's someone that can give the Miami Heat a new star. Why it probably won't work out, in my opinion, his declining performances and his inefficiency. Recent seasons have shown, especially this season, a drop in productivity from Rand. His scoring is down compared to his peak. His shooting efficiency is terrible right now. Both overall and from three has been subpar to say the least. His size, he's a small dude. He's 6'2, like 175. He has defensive limitations. We talk crap on Tyler Hero for his defense. He doesn't have that much of a defensive aptitude as well. So his size limits his defensive versatility, and reports suggest that he sometimes lacks effort on defense and struggles to guard bigger or more physical players, and that's going to be tough for him. So that's another issue. His off-court issues, of course, his availability issues over the past few seasons. Morant has had off-court behavioral issues and suspensions with the whole gun stuff. That's been a concern. That doesn't fit in with the Miami Heat's culture. So that might deter a team like the Miami Heat, who are all about accountability, stability, team chemistry. That could derail basically their culture. And I don't know if he's, again, good enough as someone who was a former All Star and is worth trading some of your pieces or your young and up and coming pieces for someone who might not even elevate them as a championship contender. So I don't even know. Depends on what the trade is. We're not even going to get into that today, but who the hell knows? But why can he fit in with the Miami Heat's core? I think offensively, again, his playmaking could complement Miami's existing roster. Putting him next to an Bam Adebayo would be huge. Culture and coaching, I think Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley could maybe get him to buy in and change his mindset because they have a strong culture, they have a disciplined system. So if Morant does buy into the structure, it could stabilize him and maximize his strengths and give him a fresh opportunity. So we'll see. So does a trade for Ja Morant, is that a good idea? I think a trade for Ja Morant right now is risky, but obviously the potential could be high, and it could be a high reward for a high risk for the Miami Heat. So if for some reason everything clicks, he's healthy, he's mentally focused, he buys into the Miami Heat culture, he buys into the system, he buys into the coaching, he could be an electrifying playmaker and player for this Miami Heat team, which could bring excitement and new star potential. And he can have crazy performances like he did a few years ago in the playoffs, even though he is a defensive liability. But honestly, if I was the Miami Heat's front office, I'd be cautious. I'd only pull the trigger if we believe there's a support system that can help him stay grounded, that he's going to buy into the culture, and that if the price is not too steep. Like I'd rather have Tyler Hero than John Morant right now at this point, even though Tyler Hero is injured again, of course, and is also pretty injury prone, I would say, at this point, where he's only played one game over 70 seasons or 70 games over one season. John Morant has also missed a ton of games as well. So I'd rather have Tyler because of his fit right now, because of his elite shooting. He's also a good playmaker. Um, I'm not a big fan of the John Morant piece. Like, again, depending on the price, like if we can add him for a decent price, let me know what you guys think. Like, should the Miami Heat go for John Morant or steer clear? I think we should steer clear, but I'm also open to it as long as it's not for too steep of a price. But again, my heart says stay away from a guy who's giving up and who's not trying. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted if I hear anything else. Thanks for watching, and again, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.